you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently. I am starting to look at the newest wave of Marvel Legends 6-inch Spider-Man figures from Hasbro, but instead of starting off with the individual figures in the wave, I'm actually going to look at the Kingpin Build-A-Figure. I think that's the one everyone has really been looking forward to from this wave, and so that's the review I'm going to start off with, and then I'll work my way back and look at the individual figures. But just to recap, this wave includes the Red Goblin figure, the Marvel Thrasher figure, Silver Sable, Puma, the 6-armed Spider-Man figure, which is the one figure in this wave that does not actually have a Build-A-Figure piece, and then the new modern Black Cat figure, and then finally the Symbiote Spider-Man figure, the modern Symbiote Spider-Man figure. So let's get these open and take a look at the individual Kingpin Build-A-Figure pieces. We'll put it together and take a look at the actual figure. Okay, so here's a look at the Build-A-Figure pieces outside the packaging. So included you get the legs, the arms, and the torso section. And then this figure actually comes with 2 different head sculpts, which is nice. You get the angry kind of yelling or screaming head sculpt with the open mouth, and then you get the second more normal looking one. He still looks pretty angry with that one, and I like the skin tone on both of them. The paint applications are very solid. The eyes look good. He's got kind of grayish eyebrows, and of course he's got the bald head. And again, I think both of these head sculpts look pretty good. And then the final thing that he comes with is this, I don't know what the proper term for this is. It's not really a cane or a walking stick, but it is an item that you would often see him hold in the comic books. So, you know, it is kind of I don't know. Again, I don't know what the proper term for this thing is. I'm sure it has one, but we'll call it a cane for the purposes of this review. And it's got the diamond at the top, which is done with a translucent plastic, and then you've got some gold there, and then the handle itself is just done with a black plastic. And mine came out of the handle is a little bit of a flexible plastic, and so it's a little bit bent out of the packaging, but for the most part it's pretty straight. If yours is bent and it bothers you, you can probably take a hairdryer and straighten it out. Okay, so putting this thing together is pretty simple. You just first take the legs, or at least that's what I'm going to start off with, is the legs, and you make sure you've got the left leg on the left side and the right leg on the right side, and you just pop them into place, and they should go on there pretty easily. You might have to twist and turn a little bit, but again, they should pop on there, and they do seem to fit on there pretty tight. And then we can take the arms, and again, you want to make sure you have the right arm goes in the right side and the left arm on the left side, and they should just pop into place. And then finally, you take the head sculpt. So we're going to start off with the normal head sculpt. You've just got the ball joint there. So you just pop on the head that you want to use. And again, it should pop on there pretty easily and fits nice and tight. And then finally, you can take this little staff cane thing and stick it in his right hand. He can only hold it in the right hand because the left hand is a closed fist, but it does stay in there pretty good. And this is what the Kingpin looks like fully assembled. And here's a close-up look at the normal looking head sculpt on the body, and again, I think this looks pretty good. This is probably my favorite of the 2 different head sculpts, though I do again think both look pretty good. And then here's the second one with the open mouth where it looks like he's kind of yelling or screaming at somebody. It would have been nice maybe if we had 2 open pairs of hands with this one. I think that would have matched up a little better, not that it's a big deal. And again, I do think this is a pretty nice looking head sculpt, but I like the normal one better. That's the figure. He's wearing this really stellar, clean looking white suit. It's a very bright kind of white, especially when you get it in the light. So one thing you will want to be careful is just not to get dirt on this thing, because again, it's very clean looking, which is, you know, in keeping with the Kingpin, so no complaints there. I think it looks good. And the coat itself, the outer coat of the suit, is a separate piece. The sleeves are sculpted on there, but you can take this off. And even though the sleeves of the coat are sculpted on the arms, it still doesn't look bad when you take the outer coat off, because, you know, he's got the white vest and everything. Technically, if you took the coat off, I think these arms should be black. You know, this is just a vest that he's wearing. But again, I don't think it looks bad when you actually take it off. And you can see even some nice detailing where they've got the black shirt kind of sticking out from the coat there. Now, I do have a little bit of a paint blemish on the left arm here. here where you can see some white gun on the black portion, but still it's nice detailing. And you've got the buttons of the coat here on the side of the arms. The buttons on the vest here are done with a metallic gold, and then he's got the black shirt underneath with the purple tie, which is done with kind of a metallic purple color. And then on the outer coat, he's got the purple handkerchief in his breast pocket here, which matches his tie. He's got some pockets sculpted. The buttons on the outer coat are just done with white. They're sculpted, but there's no paint detail. They're just solid white, which I actually think is in keeping with what you would see in the comics. You can see on his left hand, which is again a closed fist, he's got this ring. Now it would have been cool, the ring is just painted red. It would have been cool if maybe they had done a translucent red plastic there for like a gem, but still it looks pretty good. And then you've got some sculpting detail on the pants for the zipper and everything. And then he's got some wrinkles here, and the pants come down over his shoes. And then even the shoes have some pretty nice detailing. So they look kind of like they're patent leather with the line work and everything. So I like that. So overall, I think this is a really nice looking figure. You know, it's very clean looking, but again, that's in keeping with how the Kingpin should really look. Now this figure is a pretty good size, coming in just a little bit under 7 3/4 inches tall, and then width wise is, I would say he's about just under 5 inches from his widest points from arm to arm. Okay, now for comparisons, I first want to start out giving you a look at the old Toy Biz Kingpin figure with this new one. Now this Kingpin figure, my Toy Biz one, has seen a lot of wear and tear. You can see the skin tone has kind of changed colors and got some dirt on his coat and stuff. But overall, this was always, I thought, a very good figure. But the main thing I want to point out between these two figures is just the size difference. It's not really strange for a modern Hasbro Marvel Legend figure to be bigger than an older Toy Biz one, but this new Kingpin is just a lot bigger than the Toy Biz one. Next up, here's a comparison with 3 of Kingpin's biggest nemesis. So we've got a modern Daredevil, a modern Spider-Man, and a modern Punisher figure from Hasbro, and I think the scale between these 4 figures is pretty good. Here's a comparison with one of Kingpin's most notorious henchmen, Bullseye, and again, I think the scale between these two figures is pretty good. Okay, and then finally, here's a size comparison with several other recent big Marvel Legend figures that Hasbro's done. So we've got the M'Baku figure from the second wave of Black Panther movie figures, which is a Build-A-Figure. We've got the Walgreens exclusive Fantastic Four Thing figure, and the Thing is a little bit shorter than Kingpin. The width between these two is about the same. I'm not sure if that's completely accurate. You know, I know Kingpin's size, and some people have drawn him really, really big and some not as big, so it's varied over the years, but I really not sure if Thing should be shorter than Kingpin. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it looks bad, but I guess if we really want to get technical, I'm not sure if Kingpin should really be bigger than Thing. And then we've got Cable, the classic Cable figure, which Kingpin is taller, and then finally we've got the Cull Obsidian Build-A-Figure from the Avengers Infinity War, and he is the biggest of the bunch. Okay, now for articulation on this figure, you can turn the head to the left and to the right, and you really can't look down very much. He's got a wide chin, so that limits his down movement. You do have a hinge joint, so he can't actually look up pretty good. You don't really get any head pivot with this one. With the arms, you can get the arms out good, and you've got good rotation there at the shoulder. You do not have a bicep swivel. You get the rotation at the elbow. It's a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. And then you get rotation with the hands. You have hinges on the hands, so you've got up and down movement there. He's got a midsection joint, but really the only thing you can do there is just rotate. You can't even really pivot, and there's no forward movement and really no back movement either. He does not have a waist swivel. You can get the legs forward only about that much, and then you can do the legs back about that much. He can only do the splits about that much, and then he does have a thigh swivel. He's got a single hinged knee, so he can bend his knee about that much. He's got rotation at the knee. I do like how the knee joints are hidden with the pants. I like how they did that. And then with the feet, you've got rotation, though the pant leg comes down over the shoes, so it limits that movement, so you can only rotate about that much. And then you get a little little back and forth movement, but not a whole lot. And you get some pivot, but again, because of the pant leg, you really only get a little bit of pivot there. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of it. Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I really like this figure. I think this is a really nice looking figure. I like the sculpting detail. The paint applications are solid. It's not super articulated, but honestly, I don't really expect a character like Kingpin to be super articulated, so no complaints there. I like you get the 2 different head sculpts, and that you also get that King walking staff thing with the diamond on the top. So overall, I think this is a really nice Build-A-Figure. You know, Hasbro's really been doing a good job with most of their Build-A-Figures recently, and this one will make a nice addition to your Spider-Man gallery. Now this wave with this Build-A-Figure has started to hit shelves. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.